Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and a couple days ago it was announced that Warner Brothers, oddly enough, was going to be pushing Wonder Woman from holiday season 2019 to summer 2020. And a lot of people out there are going like, why? Like, Wonder Woman 2017 was one of the biggest films of the year, over $800 million worldwide. I mean, it did better than Justice League. So you figure Warners would want this to be their premiere film coming out of the DC lineup in 2019. And other than that, all we have is Shazam. So that's a little bit weird, isn't it? But let's take a look here. So it says Wonder Woman 1984 delayed until 2020. Warner's has announced an update to its upcoming schedule in which the highly anticipated sequel to the 2017 critical and commercial hit, Wonder Woman 1984, will be pushed back a whole 7 months, going from its original 2019 release to a new June 5th, 2020 slot. Also announced was a removal of the $6 billion man, with Wonder Woman taking over the original slot. Now, I don't think the $6 billion man has any real bearing on any of this, to be honest with you. I don't think the $6 billion man means much in this particular regard. They pulled it from the slot, I think, because looking at remakes of other films, like last year's Baywatch and other things like that, just have not done well. So maybe putting out the $6 billion man in a primetime summer slot wasn't really the best course of action. Whereas we know that Wonder Woman did very well in June 2017 and probably didn't want to get hurt at all by episode 9 dropping sometime in December 2019. So that's probably one of the biggest reasons, was like, well, $6 billion man, let's move it. Let's push Wonder Woman back. Let's not get in the way of Disney and Star Wars. And that might have something to do with the fact that they're a little bit worried that Aquaman, releasing in just a couple months, is going up against Mary Poppins and Into the Spider-Verse. And they don't want to mess with that. They don't want to, they don't mind letting Aquaman tangle with those other films, but they don't want to screw over or have any issues with Wonder Woman. They want that all to herself. Now, part of me has been questioning what's up with the movie as to why they'd want to push it back 7 months. It's not that the film, I think there might be realizing that something is not 100% on board with the movie, and maybe they want to play with it a bit. But look, I have no idea about any of that. All I can do is speculate on what's coming out in June 2020, which is still a year and a half away pretty much. So let's take a look here at movieinsider.com. Now, this is what they have listed for the month of June 2020. That would be Wonder Woman 1984 for June 5th, then Red Notice, which is coming out the week later, and that stars Dwayne Johnson and Gal Gadot, again, another Gal Gadot film. Then a week after that, you've got an untitled Pixar animation film. We don't know what that's going to be. And then at the end of the month is going to be Top Gun 2 Maverick. Now, that is actually a pretty stocked June, but that's not bad. That's not overloaded right now. Go back to June 2008. I just like to bring this one up. Go back and look at June 2008, and it was literally 2 or 3 big releases every single week that summer. They overloaded 2008, and I think that was one of the things that led to some fatigue, people just not being able to make it to the cinema. Now, that's just for June of 2020. But what about before? What's leading into that, right? And the reason why I bring that up is because early June is after Memorial Day weekend. And we know that traditionally, at least over the course of the past 4 years, Memorial Day weekend has been just kind of a movie graveyard. It's not pulling in the numbers like it used to. So what could possibly be leading into that? Well, looking over here at the numbers.com, and then this is just tentative release dates. We have an untitled Marvel movie for May 1st, 2020. That was Guardians of the Galaxy. That's been pushed. So we don't know what that's going to be right now. Legally Blonde 3 opens up a week after that. So it coming after a Marvel movie is only going to speak to a certain audience. Again, not a problem. You've got A Quiet Place 2, which is going to do very well, right? It's going to do very, very, very well because A Quiet Place 1 did very well when it came out, but they're moving this to a May release. So they're trying to get in on that summer movie action early on, 2 weeks after the untitled Marvel movie, again, not knowing what that is, and hoping that horror will find its own place. Then, of course, you've got, and this is the big one, this is May 22nd. You've got Godzilla vs. Kong, also a Warner Brothers film. So Warner Brothers on May 22nd is going to be releasing that one, and that is Memorial Day weekend. I already went and looked it up. After that, we've got Maleficent 2 coming out from Disney. Now, the reason why Maleficent 2 is actually an interesting time is because in 2014, when they released Maleficent, it opened up a week after Memorial Day weekend and did very, very, very well. Seth MacFarlane's A Million Ways to Die in the West opened on Memorial Day weekend and tanked. It didn't do very well. Great movie, but just didn't do very well. Maleficent opened the week after and did very well, despite it being just a god-awful movie. So Maleficent 2 is going to hope to capture the same thing. Now, a week after Maleficent 2 is Wonder Woman 2. That to me is interesting. That to me is Warner's really trying to, like stick it to Maleficent, and they're going to make, they're probably going to see if they can force Disney to move Maleficent's date to something else. I don't think Disney's going to really mess with that. They know for a fact that that Maleficent did very good back in 2014. They're probably just going to roll the dice. They don't want to move it up they don't want to push it any other time, really, at least in May, because it's going to get caught by another one of their films, as well as Godzilla vs. Kong, which I think is going to be a pretty big hit for Memorial Day weekend. Or it could crash and burn. Now, here's kind of what I'm expecting. In the meantime, Wonder Woman 1984 is now locked and loaded June 5th. So that's not going to move, right? And all the other movies around it are going to end up moving. I'm not too worried about Red Notice moving because it's another, it's a Universal movie, and they're going to hopefully have it tied into Wonder Woman's success. Oh, 2 Gal Gadot movies out one week after another. Oh, hell yeah, people are going to go see it for her. And also The Rock being in a film. So they're fine with what they're doing. The Pixar movie, that's going to be fine. That's going to do very, very, very well. And Top Gun Maverick, who knows? Who knows? Right? We have no idea at this point. So going into just that month, it's already going to be a loaded summer. Looking here, even at July 2020, you got Minions 2, Indiana Jones 5, Bob's Burgers, the movie, the new SpongeBob movie, which they just announced today. Apparently a Green Lantern Corps, Jungle Cruise, and it says here another untitled DCEU film, but that of course is going to probably end up being Green Lantern. Now, I would assume that Green Lantern Corps is not going to come out in July then. It's going to be pushed back even further, because I see a few of these untitled Warner Brothers event films listed, so we have no idea what that means right now. But ultimately, I think they're moving it back as a way to shift everything else. Right, because I think especially coming after it. So Pixar's 2 weeks after Wonder Woman, they're going to be fine. That's generally the week Pixar movie comes out, so that's not going to move. Top Gun might drop back a little bit in order to not get caught in Wonder Woman's wake. And Maleficent 2 might actually move itself forward as a way to get 2 weeks before Wonder Woman 2 comes out. Because let's be fair here, Maleficent 2 will have May 29th. It will be the biggest movie that weekend. Then next week is going to lose to Wonder Woman. And so Disney may want to get that 2 weeks. So they might move it to something else that's going to be a bit more predominant. But again, I have no freaking idea what they're going to do. This is just kind of my thoughts, my speculation on Wonder Woman 2 being moved and what it means and what's around it. And so, of course, you can come to your own conclusions. If you made it this far, type 1984 into the chat. That way I know you guys made it. Sure to toss it a thumbs up. That really does help out the channel. And leave your comments just in general. I'll talk to you guys later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.